Okay, so here we go, and I love this. The program is called Botswana Ignite, right? And I've watched a few interviews about it. Duncan, I'm going to start with you. So naturally, this is a huge thing to happen. But so many things had to connect, right? Steve had to get hold of you guys. You guys had to get hold of the Botswana government. And as we know, the Botswana government loves, programs that build like that, right? If you look at how well they did at the Olympics, you can just see that there is proper thought and process and systems behind making sure that the next generation just ends up better than the last one. So how many things had to connect before this happened?
So the order of events is a little different in the sense that basically the project, as it relates to me, started with Steve because his relationship with Botswana is where this all started. And it started as a conversation to basically say, how do we change, how do we grow the Botswanan entertainment economy? So the economy of film and television. How do we build it in such a way that it is a viable, exciting, vibrant economy where people can build businesses and it can grow? So that's how the conversation started. And then Steve reached out to me to say, this is the vision. And I mean, Steve can speak to the vision, as can the permanent secretary. And we started working together to build a model. And so my involvement has really only been the last year and a half, I'd say. And a year of that was really just building the model, and the last 6 months has been executing. But the permanent secretary and Steve and the president have been working on this for 5 or 6 years. I mean, this has been a birth over a long period of time.
So, Permanent Secretary Khwetimang, I want to ask you then, where, besides this program that is trickling in, and I saw many people sending in their videos, to audition. I want to be a presenter. I want to be this. There's many roles available, not just in front of the camera. I have to stress this. So I see all of these videos, but I want to know the Botswana TV and entertainment industry. Where is it right now so that we can be able to measure when this started and then in 10 years be like, oh, they were there. They are here now. Where is it right now as it stands?
Thank you. Is it
Yeah.
audible? It's audible. Thank you so much, Anele. I think it all started when the saving grace for us is that our president himself is a creative.
Oh.
So he wanted to see creative industry growing in leaps and bounds. And he put in a lot of resources, the government resources, to try to build it. And a lot of young people were coming up. We did realize that we do have a lot of talent, and we had a program that we actually went throughout the country to unearth more talent. So my president traveled. He traveled to the United States, and he met Steve. They discussed whatever they were discussing, but I like it when he says he came back, he talked to Duncan to say, Duncan, make it happen. My president looked at me and said, make it happen. So we met, me and Duncan, to try to build the vision of our principles. And I have my colleagues here who are from the creative industry. I'm just just a government officer who doesn't know much about it. So we sat down together, we said, what is it that needs to be done? And then we worked with the ministry that is responsible for the creative sector. We worked with them to put up a plan of where we want to go. We met, Steve Harvey came, showed us how to do it. And we found that there was a lot of willingness from
within
industry.
the Botswana citizens and the industry.
And they were eager to go somewhere in life. And they didn't have a lot of opportunities. So the government is trying to work hard to create those opportunities, but to open it up to the international standard, and to that standard, that's why Steve Harvey and his team comes in.
Okay, Steve, I'm going to come to you then. Will we then say in the next 10 to 15 years, thanks to this program, be able to watch TV shows that were conceptualized in Botswana, and they were harnessed there, molded there, put in the fire in Botswana, and then, you speak to a Fremantle, and then you license that concept that was from Botswana to the rest of the world? Is this the way we're going?
I mean, in 10 years, Botswana will become one of the top film industries on the continent. Now look, Nigeria and South Africa have a head start by leaps and bounds. Make no mistake about this. This is the real deal here in South Africa. I've been in television 30 years. It's the real deal here. They have the real studios. They have the real production companies. They have the facilities. Everything is here. What hasn't been conveyed properly, I think, are the amount of jobs that can actually be produced for young people. See, you all got everybody coming here because they get a tax credit. But all these production companies come and they bring their people from Ireland, from London, and y'all ass ain't working. That ain't how the game supposed to go. You're supposed to have qualified young people here who have been trained, and you make that a mandate that when you bring your operation to our country, X amount of people who have these jobs have to be South Africans, have to be Botswanans, have to be Nigerians. It has to be. If you don't make that demand, and they will do it because they want the tax credit. Money make the world go round. See, show business is two words, y'all. It's show and business. If you can have the best show in the world, but if you don't take care of the business, you ain't gonna make no money. Now you can have the best business in the world, but if you ain't got no good ass show, don't nobody want to see the shit. So what I'm trying to get Africa to understand is how to take advantage of all this rich talent that's on this continent and give it the opportunity to work. So when you give these people these tax credits and they come from these other countries and they bring in all these people, and yeah, your hotels is filled, but after 6 weeks they gone. No, come in here, hire these young people who have been trained in the film academy, trained in cinematography, in how to light a stage, in how to build a set, hire them. And if you're not gonna hire them, you don't get the tax credit. They're gonna do that. Because what was happening in Botswana is, because it is only place on earth is the Okavango Delta. I don't care where you go, you will not find it. It's unbelievable. It's a piece of nature unduplicated in the world. All these nature films come there and they just film, and then they go home. Wait a minute, ho. No, ain't no more of that. You're gonna come here, you're gonna film, but you're gonna hire these young people to go out there and film. What they know about the Okavango Delta that the people that live out there don't know. Because there's people that live out there now. It's villages. Hire people. In 10 years, Botswana will be one of the top film industries on the continent because they are going to do it the right way, and they will be supplying more jobs for young people in film and television than anybody.
Okay, so let's break it down, Duncan. I hear it's threefold. There's a TV Academy, then there's the Wildlife Academy, and I'm glad you touched on the Okavango. There's the Wildlife Academy where it's doing what? Teaching, how to do the National Geographic side of things, right? And then it's the mentorship classes. Please run through all three tiers for me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's flowing off exactly what Steve's just spoken about. So we built a structure which essentially starts at the base with a TV Academy, which is based in Gaborone, in the capital. And then we training in the area of non-scripted and inscripted. And then we have a specialist wildlife film academy up in the Chobe region, in Kasane, in the far north. And that's specialist in the natural history wildlife space. So, and again, that flows off exactly what Steve's been saying, which is essentially to start training up and accelerating development with existing participants in the industry, such that they're in a place where when we're servicing international productions, we're able to put a lot more Botswana into those productions. And at the same time, we're expanding the business part of the show business, so training a lot of the business of television so that they're taking their own ideas and stories and being able to package those and be able to pitch those out into the market. And then the next level up is the mentorship and development, and that's where we're embedding very experienced producers, directors, DOPs, production managers into existing productions to take those productions and see whether we can elevate those to become more sellable, so that we're starting to expand this economy.
You said so it'd be more what?
So, what's that, Steve?
Oh, sellable.
Sellable.
Oh, I thought you said celibate. I was gonna say, what the hell? I got to get out this program. 'Cause I thought he said celibate. I was going, I ain't going to make it, though.
That ship has sailed, Steve. That ship has sailed. The celibacy ship has sailed. To make it more
Sellable,
saleable. And then the next level up to facilitate all of that is a film commission that we're working with the Ministry of Arts and Culture on. And linked to that is a rebate scheme. And we're structuring that in such a way that it accelerates and fuels the base that I've mentioned, but at the same time, what we're looking to do is to expand the actual economy, the flow of money in the economy by tenfold. So that's the idea, because only off the back of that can you grow service industries and all the peripheral industries, and producers and can build production companies. Because that's the production company is the engine that builds the next generation and the next level of content.
I like that you started on that, because speak to me about the knock-on industries that could benefit. Because here's the thing, you know, production companies and creativity doesn't live in silos. You don't just shoot a movie by yourself, right? There's so many industries that benefit from around that. The restaurants, transport.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to me about
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. I mean, and research from around the world in terms of when you start to put these building blocks in place, and if you do it well, the multiplier effect. So for every person who's employed on a production, there are 5 jobs that are created downstream. So that's the multiplier effect that happens, and that's just purely on an employment basis. The next level out of that is the flow of money. So as you say, so as soon as you, and everybody in this room, gets with producing a show, as soon as you're starting to produce a show that is of scale, suddenly you have, you have everything from set builders, so suddenly there's a whole industry there. You have wardrobe, there is an entire industry there. There is vehicle hire, there is portable toilets, there's catering, there's, all of these kind of things. But those businesses can only exist if there's a continuous flow of production. So in South Africa, that's kind of like we don't even think about it because it's been around for years. But in Botswana, what I love about it and what's so exciting for me is that they have a very small but a very passionate film and television industry, but it's been quite inwardly focused. So it's been BTV, YTV, now have been the platforms, and that's where they've been selling their shows. And then there have been a great group of producers who have expanded out of that, and they've started selling to South Africa in particular. And some of them have left the country and gone overseas to go and work, to expand. And part of our excitement is we're trying to attract all of those people back. But what we're trying to do is that as soon as you bring a big production to Botswana, and it hires, this morning we were having a conversation about it, and it needs to hire 180 people. In Botswana, that's a game changer. They're already, and now if you build a pipeline of that, which is what we're busy working on at the moment, suddenly you've got the ability to be able to create all this additional business around it.
Okay, so Khoitsimang, I'm going to come back to you. When I was in varsity a good 22 years ago, we were studying with a lot of kids from Botswana, and 2 things were apparent. One, the ladies were going to take our men because they were hot. Don't act like you've never been hit with a brick by a girl from Botswana, eh? And B, she's laughing because she knows. She knows. Light and pretty, those girls. Okay, and B is they were studying for free. Now I find out that this program is also for free. How, guys? Somebody has to be paying for it somehow. Free is very expensive for somebody else. Who's paying for it?
I think we have to, in Botswana, we're very fortunate. We are a small country. Our population is just 1.2. And we're fortunate at the beginning that we had the natural resources and good leadership. And good people who when all these natural resources were coming, they decided, Steve has just been telling you that all diamonds in Botswana belongs to Botswana.
Yeah.
So we are the best producer of diamonds, gem. And with the small economy, the small population, and that much wealth coming, government decided that they are going to train the people. So I benefited from both primary school, secondary school, up to the university. Government paid for me all the way through because there was a drive to do that. And then these people, ourselves, in turn had to come and find other engines of growth. Because God gave us the engine of growth, there was minerals, and actually that is why there's so much passion in this one, because we have determined as Botswana government that the next engine of growth has to be with our young people, and we've realized that the creative industry is one that is booming. And government said, we are going to put more money into it. If you've been following the budget speech of our countries, you'll realize that this year, the amount of money that's going into the creative industry was increased by over 50%, so that it can cater for this training. Because we know that the more we put in our young people, the more they will put back in the economy, and the interest that we have is that let's grow our economy. Let's really have an engine of growth. We've got tourism, we've got our beef, we've got our diamonds, but diamonds are not forever. And then we have to find another one. The creative industry comes out the best, and that is why we are being paid.
So the creative industry, as a government, you've decided that that's your unit and the real. As, you find the talent, and then you guys do a program like this, and you hone it, and then in 15 years' time, we've got diamonds.
Well, it's the investment in people.
Yeah.
You know, you can invest in cattle, you can invest in diamonds. The greatest resource is people. This government, and like I said, look, South Africa and Nigeria is ahead leaps and bounds in terms of television capability. Everything is here, everything is in Nigeria. What they did in Botswana was, through leadership, invested in the people. See, this program that we do here in Botswana, my goal is to take it to other countries around Africa, because what I want to leave is a legacy of young people that have hireable skill sets, that you can go anywhere and be a cameraman. You can go anywhere and be a set designer. You can do anywhere and work lighting. People don't understand. You know, everybody think that gifts is running, jumping, singing, and dancing. Everybody want to be me. You know, everybody want to be on TV. And let me tell you something. The people that's making the real money is the people behind the scenes. Look, as much money as they pay me, do you think they're paying me more than they make? Ain't nobody doing that. Fremantle, NBC, they not paying me more than they make. Oh, I make a great living, but you better believe they making the bucks. What I want to leave here in Africa, in Botswana, is a legacy of young people with the skill set and the mindset to develop and own. And you know, and this can happen around the continent. Like Duncan said, I can't do it here in South Africa. Y'all guys, you're on the way. You've got it done. All y'all got to do is form a union. Y'all tripping. That's what y'all problem is. Y'all need a damn union. And then your ass will have something. That's how you get money. You get a union. We ain't working until we get this. They got to pay you. And nothing happened without people. So now let me get off of that, because I'm going to get put out the country.
On your peach crate.
And y'all need to, I don't know, what is load shedding? This shit here. What is y'all doing? Y'all just cut the fucking lights off. I was just sitting somewhere, and just the damn lights went off.
We fixed that problem, Steve.
It's been fixed.
It's been fixed.
It's been fixed?
Yeah.
It has not been dark in 6 months.
I was going to get a house down here, and then I looked outside there, cut all the fucking lights off. I went, I'm sorry. So there's no more load shedding?
No.
Oh, hey.
Can't you see we're thriving, Steve?
Welcome to 2024. I didn't know. I'm sorry, y'all. I was down here. It was pre-COVID when I was down here. They just cut the damn lights off. It's Thursday. We cutting your lights off. I was going, what the hell? And so, but now, anyway, look, that's going to happen. In like, you know, countries like Uganda or Kenya or Ghana, places like that, this program could thrive. But we have now a proof of concept because their leadership, President Eric McQuetzie, like she said, was a creative. He saw it, but they want to do something for their young people. You have a government who wants to help the future of their young people. And I think that's what really got the program started.
Okay, so I'm glad all of you have touched on this because I think most of us in this room, what we're asking ourselves is, yes, you can teach somebody to work a camera. There must be some sort of skill set they have. They must have an eye in. That's how the best DOPs are made, right? You can hone somebody's skill set in writing scripts, right? In doing makeup, hair, making tailored suits for Steve. Can the business of showbiz be taught? Because you both said that that's where the money is, and this is where they want their citizens to go. How do you teach the business of show business?
Well, if you think about it, in television, you don't go to university to do a degree in entertainment finance. You learn entertainment finance, sort of by doing. So what we're trying to do is to accelerate that development. So essentially, if you think about it, in the end, all the business of entertainment really is, when you really distill it down, is you've got to have a really good sense of finance and admin, but it's also about networking. It's about understanding needs, wants, desires by buyers. So it's those three things. So it's very much that's what we're teaching in those kinds of blocks. So we're saying you need to run a good production, and then you need to know how to package your show. So we teach that. Then,
and to sell it over and over and over, not just to one client.
But also you need to understand how to cut a deal. You need to know how to package a deal. You need to understand geographies, languages, how you can split all of these rights, platforms versus, And once you start to understand that, you start to realize that with every piece of property, that every piece of IP or production that you're working on, that there are a multitude of ways of selling it. So it's to do all of that. But ultimately, you can teach that in a classroom. But in the end, you've also got to practically show it because it's a very different thing. In television is about closes, bottom line. As a producer, if you can't close, then you're just a talker, So, how do you get people from being talkers to being closers? So that is a three-dimensional kind of challenge. So we're training it, but at the same time we're doing master classes. We're planning. What we will be doing is so some of these productions we're running, we're going to package those as case studies, and then we're going to unpack that with producers in the room to say, this is how this deal got done. These are the conversations. This is where it went. This is who said no, and this is why they said no, and it makes sense why they said no. And then we take them through that process. So that's how we accelerate that training of the business of television.
And obviously, in a position like yours, you are government. You said this. You are, within the presidency. There are naysayers. There are people who are like, "This is not going to work. We don't like it because." What were the naysayers saying? Why do they think it's not going to work? Look at these two. They're panicking. Look at me. Don't look at them.
I think it's very interesting because what you are saying is so right. One of the things that I was going to actually say before you asked me this question was one of the blessings that we have in our country now is to understand that there is a need to develop our creatives, but to understand that we don't know. And we need to facilitate those that know how to do it. And that is why step back and allow them to do it. Steve usually tells me, you are not doing film, so step back and allow me to do it. So we develop that understanding, we work with them. And the interesting part is that the opposition was not necessarily coming from outside the creative sector. Within the creative sector, there were those who felt, why are you bringing Steve? Don't you think we can do it?
No.
And we were saying, we're actually bringing Steve because he has to help you get to where you want to go. But fortunately, as the project is unfolding, originally they thought we are hiring him to come and make more money and leave. But they did realize that no, that's not the model we are coming up with. Our president was very, very clear on the model that he wanted. He wanted Steve to come, do skills transfer, do his money. You're not giving him a lot of money.
He's not doing it for free. Come
yes.
on. Come on.
And make sure that he raises the platform from what Duncan was saying. They've been a very active group originally, internally, who were just selling BTV, YTV, but because of the global view of what the industry has become, they knew that there's more, but they didn't know how to get to more. And we wanted somebody who understands the more to come and help them reach that more. So basically that's where we are, and people are starting to really see, because now there's a lot of excitement at home. There's young people are seeing a lot of future in this program that we are coming into. I'm here, I never thought I would be in Cape Town to see what I saw this morning. I was like a little girl in the toy shop this morning. I was like, looking around all this, and I said, next year we have to come here and have our own stall here, because we are starting to be opened up to possibilities that we never thought they were there. Thank you.
But you know, like I told you a little while ago, you said in the beginning there was their naysayers. Of course. Because anytime you have a great idea, somebody gonna shoot it down because they don't see it. And I heard all of the hate. Why are you bringing Steve Harvey? Well, do you know how to do it? I've been on TV 30 years. 30 years I've been on TV, straight, the whole time. Steady climbing because of the business. It's not just that I have a good show. It's the business that you were talking about. So, like, how do we teach the business? This whole thing that started as an idea, hey man, I want to do Family Feud in Africa, click. That lawyer with the legal mind, has to now do research. Well, guess what? We had to buy the rights to do Family Feud from Fremantle. We had to buy these rights. Now that got to come out of my pocket. So I invested in myself in a belief that I had no idea what it would do, except I just knew it would win. So buying the rights, the international rights to Family Feud, it's not $50. These licenses ain't $10,000. You got to get your paper right. You got to get up in them 6 figures. You got to pay 6 figures US to get the international rights. I get the international rights, and then we go from there. It's just business. I know that they want to make money at Fremantle because we have a partnership. We're partners, man. I've made them hundreds of millions of dollars, and they've had to pay me for that. It's all good. It's business. But they saw an opportunity and give me the opportunity because they said, well, if Steve see it that way, let's go. You got to have great partnerships, and I happen to have a great partnership with Fremantle. So they saw it. Now, getting the Botswana government to see it was the president. This guy is a visionary, but he wants something more for his country than just diamonds. See, me, I'll be cool with them diamonds. Me, I'll be straight. You give me 2 of them rocks, and I'm get on up out of here. I'll be straight. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I had them diamonds they had in Botswana, I wouldn't be doing none of this. I'd be on a yacht with my wife with my feet up, getting my feet rubbed by some little lady from Ecuador. That's what I'd be doing, but I don't. And so we had this program that's working out just great. What you're going to see now is, on September 12th, we start taping Family Feud Botswana. And guess what? Those kids from the program that graduated now have jobs on the show. Then next year, God willing, we're gonna have more studio space built. We've already located and targeted some areas, and we're gonna have these studios built over there. And then we're going to attract outside business through tax abatements, but then with the caveat for this is you can't bring your foreign company over here unless you hire 25% of the people have to be from Botswana, or else you can't do it. What they gonna say, no? Hell no, they're not gonna say no, because they want the tax abatement.
And it's cheaper to shoot down here, and yet the quality
It's way
is
cheaper.
the
Look,
same.
man, if I shoot Okay, I can't tell that.
You'll
Let
learn
me
that
just
one
say-
in class. Does anybody have questions?
But it's a
'Cause I'm
lot.
gonna
It's
wrap
a
it
lot
up.
different though. It's America has to pay you this money because the cost is high. Because we have unions, and the cost is just astronomical. Let me give you an example. You shoot a season of Family Feud, you talking whole lot of money.
Okay, Steve,
Over 25 million.
hold it there
That's
for
just
me.
to shoot it.
I'm here, over here, Steve. Okay,
Okay.
cool. She's got a question. No funny yana business there. Don't try trend on Twitter here. Okay.
Thank you so much. Hi, Steve. Thank you so much. My name is Fabi Grace Jongoro, and I am a film director. My name is Fabi Grace Jongoro.
Oh, you ain't got to repeat it. I ain't gonna be able to say it no way. So
We can't hear it.
I heard something else.
Okay, my name is Fabi Grace Jongoro. Thank
Okay.
you. From Nairobi, Kenya. I'm a film director. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for sharing the inspiration. The work that you're doing for Botswana, that's incredible. May God bless you. So I saw that you received our president like a few months ago for the film industry in Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if there is a plan in place, but if you're coming to Kenya, please tag me along because I'm really ambitious about the film industry in Kenya. And for now, we are growing. We are growing steadily, and it would mean a lot. Yes, that. And also, when it comes to career, I wake up every morning, and I decide to do what I do. What would you advise me when it comes to the spirit to go on? Because I may want to do this. I have the will, but there are times when I feel like, is this really worth it?
Well, listen to me. That will that you need has to come from within. You have to make a decision. Quitting cannot be an option. You have to take quitting off the table. The one thing about giving up, it ensures you one thing: it will never happen. That's all I did was I took quitting off the table. Quitting was not an option. Y'all people, I just told you it's going to be very hard. You have to understand that and accept that. It's going to be opposition and adversity. That's how you become successful. This woman, boss lady, did not get to this higher position in the government by quitting. Somebody told her a long time ago, ain't no woman gonna ever have this position. Somebody told her, what are you getting that degree for? You're not gonna work in that. She's been hearing that. You black, you're not gonna get that. Well, here she is. You gotta take don't quit off the table. It cannot be an option. I can't give you that. You have to get that in yourself. You got to get some dog in you. That's why my daddy came in at. You got to get some dog in you. You got to get nasty. Because if you want to win, you have to be nasty sometimes. Like, I'm a good person, but sometimes I'm not a nice person. Because if you funky to me, I ain't that good a Christian. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I practice a lot of Christianity, but some of them rules, they turn the other cheek. That part of Christianity, that ain't what I do. I'm not turning the other cheek. If you slap me, brace yourself.
On that violent note, thank you, ma'am. I'm going to take two more, one from him and then one from the lady. I think Tomlinson is your surname, yeah? Yes, I'm going to come to you last.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and one other thing. We had conversations with your president about coming to Kenya. But I got to wait till y'all throwing a lot of rocks and shit right now. So as soon as y'all stop all that fighting, I can't come up there with all that bullshit going on. Y'all got to stop all that rock throwing and shit. I'll come and help the young people, but they not professional rock throwers. And I can't get hit in the face with a rock right now. I have to Zoom y'all right now. Y'all wearing bulletproof vests and shit like that. I can't come over there right now.
Okie dokie, hold on.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I've got a question for the Botswana government. My name is Mr. B, and I reside here in South Africa. I did a co-production with Botswana in 2018 called Colors, and it's been licensed twice in South Africa. So this issue about skills transfer, it's something that has been happening, but at a lower scale. Fast forward to my question is, I've noticed generally in Africa, our adoption rate, our agility to move quick in terms of business is always very slow and kind of, if you look at when AI was introduced in the US and how quickly everybody has AI, Copilot, Google, everybody. We tried to get the second licensing deal, and we're trying to get a letter from BTV just so that we can apply with SABC for a co-production. And it's been slow. So my question is there anything that is inside for government at least to move things much quicker for us to do things at a faster rate? Because that is very important. We're not going to unlock the business that Steve is talking about if we are slow with things. I don't know whether it's red tape in government or something. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. B.
Thank you. You are right that we've been very slow as a country in a lot, especially in this creative sector, because earlier on you talked about when our parents, you told them you're going to be a comedian, they were like, no, be a doctor, be a teacher. So we did realize that we needed to have to leap, like to do things very quickly. So first of all, we created the National Arts Council. Last year, it's in place. We are looking into the Film Commission. We are looking into streamlining other strategic partners within the economy. How do we help people who come here? How do we apply the licenses? How are we going to be facilitating speedily those people who come in and do the filming? This on its own created a hub that we have to do the facilitation very quickly. One of the things that we have done as a government is also to do what we call the facilitation of the doing business in Botswana. Not just in the film industry, but realizing that we have lost a lot of opportunities because we are not organized enough. So be assured that the licensing, the decision making, Duncan is working very hard on that, and I'm glad that he understands the industry more than we do. So he's able to tell us where we can actually quickly be very responsive to people who are coming to us. And we're really doing our best to be very responsive to the needs of the sector.
Hey, bro, but you got to talk to private sector. If you go into the government, you're going to get swallowed up in red tape. Because that ain't what they do. Government does not do creative. Government is government. Y'all got that same problem down here. So ain't no need of you talking about Botswana and all that. Because AI is slow because of the creatives here. Y'all got to go to private sector business, get some money, form partnerships. You waiting on the government, it ain't going to happen, partner. Government don't do nothing on time, not even in the United States. That's why, see, U.S. Hollywood is separate from the United States government. They don't ask Biden or Trump. Nobody. You better hope we don't get Trump. Jesus.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anele. Thank you so much. This question is directed to Steve. So I grew up watching, my name is Taryn Tomlinson, by the way. I am a television presenter in South Africa. I grew up watching Oprah and watching yourself. I'm an avid follower of the law of attraction. I've manifested some amazing things. But one of the key differences when I look at the African American people and African people, how do you guys get so confident? And how can you teach us some of that? Because
I mean, you talking about confidence? Well, I mean, look, you have to understand something. You have something that's of demand, period. We understand that. If you take black, let's talk about the United States, but then let's talk about the continent of Africa too. If you take black people, Africans and African Americans out of sports in this country, what sport will you have? Rugby needs you. Everything you play over here, you need them. Soccer, you need them. You need them. If you take all the blacks in Africa and and African Americans out of music. What music do you have here without us? What music does Africa have without Africans? What? What would they have in the United States? What? We get the confidence because we understand who we are. And you have to understand who you are. You are the creators of everything. Everything. You just keep letting other people tell you you ain't, but you are. Who? It ain't but one host of Family Feud. You can get all the hell you want. You can go get anybody you want to. I bet you they can't do it like me. Now, why I need confidence for that shit for? I got the numbers to prove it. Then once I get the numbers, you gotta give me my money. You have to give me my money. I'm not finna do this shit with you for free. I'm not finna sit over here and play this reindeer game with you. They looking at all these football players that's making money. You look at how much money Messi make, Ronaldo make. Look at that boy Mbappe. You look at these boys, all these African football players that go around the world and make this money. Cause who they are. How much more confidence you need? You it. Without you, this whole thing crumbles. When y'all gonna get that through your head? It does not work without you. Content is king right now. You can ask Netflix, you can ask Showmax, you can ask anybody. Content is king. Where they get content from? Y'all. Look, let me tell you something. If Netflix or Showmax or Hulu or Paramount could create their own content, why would they pay you? They can't. They have to have you. We it, man. And if we can bridge that gap and encourage one another, we are it. I'm content. I want to be a judge. When I first got the judge show, you know what they tell? They were on a conference call, and my lawyer was on the call, and ABC was offering me a sitcom. And I told them I didn't want to do a sitcom. They had 11 execs on the phone. So they said, well, what do you want to do? I had never told my lawyer. I had never told anybody. The only person who knew was my wife. And so the president of ABC said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be a judge on TV. You know, you're supposed to have your computer muted. One of these white dudes didn't mute his computer. And when I said, I'm going to be a judge on TV, he said, is this guy a fucking lawyer? And I started laughing, because no, I'm not a lawyer. But they wanted to know, how can you be a judge on TV? Shit, how Donald Trump be president? He was a fucking reality star. He was on The Apprentice. He got to be president. I'm a comedian, I could be a judge. And then I convinced them how I would do the judge show. And guess what? My latest TV show is Judge Steve, because I provide content. That's who we are. We are content providers, and content is king.
Nice. Duncan, so this is a Botswana program. We won't see any South African kids, be allowed to, catch maybe 1 or 5 master classes on that side. Is it strictly, purely closed off, on the line, we can't do it, only Botswana kids? Come on, girl. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is that all the training and the development and everything is purely and exclusively for Botswana, for the citizens of Botswana. But
let me help you understand something. We will come here and give you the same program. Now, what y'all want to do?
How much you got?
Y'all got more money than Botswana got. But do you have the desire? Does your government want to invest in their young people? And if they don't, then you got the wrong people in your government. Don't y'all vote down here?
We just did. We've got the government of national unity as we speak.
What?
We've got the government of national unity as we speak. It's partly cloudy with a chance of thunder showers.
Hey, let me tell you something. You're so damn good at what you do, girl. You're the best I ever sat on this stage with. You funny? Girl, you're a bad girl. That girl right there, man. That's a bad chick right there. That girl right there is razor sharp. That shit was funny. That shit made me laugh. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what she said, but okay. Partly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms. Okay. What's the government
It
called?
means we fucked. Sorry.
What is the government called? The
Government of National Unity. So the leading party that usually wins the elections didn't win enough votes
Oh,
to
that's kind
rule
of like
outright.
Oh, Republicans and
Yeah,
Democrats.
so now it's give, push, take, give,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
So the government don't like y'all?
they don't like themselves, Steve. Get about us. We're just the secondary ones dealing with this.
Damn.
Okay, let's wrap this up before we lose the guy in the cream shirt. Come, all white party, talk to us. Going to be on Puff Daddy's yacht any moment now in this outfit.
Thank you, Anele. Absolutely amazing moderation. Good afternoon to the panel. Afternoon, Steve. Thank you for joining us. I've had this on a vision board to meet you. Never thought it would actually be happening this way. But my question does go towards intellectual property, because having watched you on Shannon Sharp's podcast and everything, you did speak about intellectual property, and one of the talent shows that was initially your idea, which I won't mention, but it went big and everything. And one of business-minded moguls that actually happens to be a public speaker as well here in South Africa, Vusi Thembekwayo. He's an individual who doesn't believe in actually signing what we call a non-disclosure agreement, NDAs, whereas it's important for one to also protect their intellectual property and their ideas. Your advice to an individual when actually pitching an idea and actually wanting to protect that intellectual property and being against signing an
Well,
NDA.
I have to ask you a question.
Which way does it go
why
about?
why would he not want to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement?
Hence the question, because he just mentioned it goes against what he's about, and
Well, what does he do?
Yeah, what has he done?
Vusi Thembekwayo is a business mogul and public speaker.
But what has he done creative-wise? Like what product is out there that we can say Vusi started?
Not really certain. as far as-
Nothing, because that's not business. Show business, 2 words. When you take an idea in to pitch it, you got to have that IP registered. You got to own the domains before you go in and pitch it, because if you don't, they can just take your idea. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know who this dude is you talking about, but that man over there with that suit on, if you come and talk to me, you gonna sign an NDA. I got news for you. If you're making a delivery at my home in the United States and you get to that guard shack out front, I take your driver's license from you, and you're gonna sign an NDA if your work is inside my house. Because you're not allowed to discuss anything you see inside my house. And I got your driver's license, because if you try to stay in one of my buildings on my house and spend the night, we know your ass is here because we got your driver's license. Because you got to come back through that gate and get that driver's license. That's business. Stop listening to people who ain't in the business tell you how to do business. Or what you say his name is again?
Vusi Thembekwayo.
Vusi need to be quiet. That's what it sounds like. Vusi need to be quiet. Be quiet. Vusi, what it is?
Thembekwayo.
Thembekwayo.
Yeah. Tell him to be quiet, because that's what it sounds like you said.
And on that note, I'm wrapping this session. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.